Whether we're occupying ICE, whether we're standing up for Black immigrants in detention centers, we are still in these streets. State violence is at the core of what Black Lives Matter is focused on, but I think that's because people also need to understand what is state violence. The policing, over-policing, the brutality, the murder of policing in the District of Columbia is so normalized that nobody's talking about it. There are people like Raphael Briscoe who were murdered on Elvins Road by a gun recovery unit, a Black SUV you see chasing him the whole entire way, never stops the car, pulls their guns out of the window and shoot him dead before they stop the car. Those police officers got off. Then in District of Columbia, people don't understand special police different businesses. So then you have people like Alonzo Smith who were murdered by special police. And nobody has to take responsibility because the laws between special police and police are just confusing enough that nobody's liable. Don't let them continue to kill us without knowing their names. Don't let police continue to terrorize us while nobody is looking. We're the most over-policed city in the United States. The Metropolitan Police Department, even in the most recent sense, if we're just talking about lately, murdered 3 Black men in a time span of 3 weeks. Black Lives Matter Global Network is the network that was created after the hashtag Black Lives Matter by Opal, Alicia, and Patrice. We work together, but we are completely autonomous, which actually makes for a very powerful movement. And I think it's also very clear and very important to understand that Black Lives Matter is not a new movement. This is the current iteration of a movement that started the moment we hit shores here. That this is just the current moment of this movement. We want to end money bail. We need to immediately end the mass surveillance of Black people and predictive policing. We demand the immediate end to the criminalization and dehumanization of Black youth. An end to the use of past charges for use in jobs, for use in housing, or anything else that returning citizens seek to give. We demand an end to the war on Black immigrants, which includes deportation and detention. We demand the demilitarization of law enforcement to include schools and universities. We demand an immediate end to the privatization of police, jails, and prisons. It's never too late for anybody to join the movement. The movement doors are always wide open. We need everybody to get us free, whether it's joining something that you've seen, or if you don't see something that you want to get involved with, start it yourself. From voting to being in the streets, there is never a shortage of work, just a shortage of workers. As long as we're still being killed, as long as we're still being targeted, then there will always be a need for Black Lives Matter or its equivalent. We may not always be called Black Lives Matter, but the fact of the matter is we will constantly and continuously still be required to remind people that Black Lives Matter and to continue to demand that Black Lives Matter, because it's still not something that is accepted. It's still not something that drives the way policy works, that police interact with Black people, that teachers teach Black children. There will always be a need for Black Lives Matter.